So welcome everyone to the Mastermind Book Club. This is a wonderful, wonderful occasion because we are going over a really amazing book that I didn't expect to do this week, but I thought it was very important to do. The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. The review tonight is going to be short. It's going to be brief, but very much to the point. It's going to take at least 10 minutes, but it's very important. Why? Because it's about us. It's about how we can develop ourselves. So let's get into this review here. Whoops, it's not going to the next page. Here we go, next page. So the Celestine Prophecy is a book which speaks of a spiritual uniform. Oh, sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty managing this here. Let me see how I can close this. How do I close this? Sorry. Oh, here it is. Duh. Okay. Spiritual unfolding that no science or religion has yet fully explained. A spiritual unfolding is what it talks about. Once we understand how to engage in this process, human society will take a huge leap into a more fulfilling, creative life. Creating a culture that has been the goal of history all along and leaving behind the restlessness and frustration currently being experienced. In the novel, an ancient manuscript was discovered containing 9 insights. This book really crystallized things for me, and the novel was written so well so as to present the information, but part of me also just wished there was a shorter condensed version. Yes, that would help us all out if there were a shorter condensed version. So, but this is what we have, and I think it's very important for us to learn something from it and how could we apply it to our own lives. So here is insight number 1, becoming aware of the coincidence and synchronicities. So today, as I was sending out a message to some of my friends in regards to how to fight this COVID issue, I felt something as I was sending them out that told me, stop, don't send to this person. I just felt that. Sometimes you probably feel, don't cross the street, don't go out, don't wear this, um, don't buy this, travel, whatever it may be, you've got to be open to these energy feelings because they are energy. All that this book talks about is energy. Who was our main, uh, the main person that talked about energy is Einstein. Energy equals mc squared, mass times I don't remember what the stands for, if anyone does, but mc squared, energy equals mc squared. So becoming aware of the coincidence and synchronicities. Coincidences are occurring with much more frequency, feeling like our lives are being guided by an unknown force. I call that infinite intelligence, God. Some others may call it, depending on their religion, but this these coincidences are guiding us and they're within us. They're not found outside that easily. They're more within us. And that's what something that we need to focus on is building ourselves. Each synchronicity holds a message. So become aware of them. It is showing you that you are on the right path. You're experiencing events and meeting certain people for a reason. This will be further explained in later insights. Now, I just want to explain to you that about 2 years ago, I was looking for a parking and I put this type of energy into a test, meaning I focused on finding a parking. And sure enough, in my mindset, when I turned right and I couldn't see what was on the right, I was going to find parking. And sure enough, I found parking. So just as a small example, there are many other examples that I can give you, but just thought I'd give you that one since it was fresh on my mind. So insight number 2, putting our current awareness into a longer historical perspective. So history is not just the evolution of technology, but also of thought. If we understand the reality of those who came before us, it becomes clear why we look at the world in the way that we do. In the Middle Ages, the clergy said there is God and the devil, right? Then in the 14th, 15th century, this view was challenged by the Renaissance and Reformation. The church began to fall apart. People realized these men were far from perfect themselves. And by the 1600 astronomers disproved the church's theory that the sun and stars revolve around the earth, right? And that's where the changes became that the sun was at the center of the galaxy that we are in, right? That there are many stars, many places to discover. Explorers were sent out to bring back an explanation of our existence, but they did not return right away. Explorers were sent out to bring back an explanation of our existence, but they didn't return right away. The lack of certainty and meaning greatly affected Western culture. So the drive to conquer nature and make ourselves more comfortable left the natural systems of the planet polluted and on the verge of collapse. These preoccupation was a necessary development in human evolution. However, it's now time to wake up from that and consider the original question. What's beyond life on this planet and why are we really here? Have you asked yourself these questions? What's beyond life on this planet and why are we really here? I've asked myself that question. So, insight number 3, everything is energy. Just as I said before, this book, the prophecy, the Celestine prophecy, is mainly about energy, something that scientists have not figured out. And I don't think they will. Why? Because it's not necessarily scientific yet, right? It's more within each and every one of us. And it's harder for a scientist to grasp unless they can do numbers and so on and measure it. And it's unmeasurable. I don't think it's measurable, at least in our terms. We haven't figured that out yet. Following on from the second insight, scientists adopted an attitude of scientific skepticism. This is in effect demands solid physical evidence for something or else it is systematically rejected so as to keep our world feeling safe and manageable. Up until now, this energy has been invisible to us, but we are going to start being able to see it. Not only see it, but understand how malleable it can be based on our thoughts and intentions. The perception of this energy increases with our heightened sensitivity to beauty. So, how can you see this energy? According to the readings, it says that if you concentrate love on an object at a certain time of day when the sun is shining, you'll be able to see a glow or an aura or some type of colors around the person or nature if you're able to concentrate your love into the person or nature that you're looking at. How? I'm not sure how, but this is what I read and this is what I saw in the video, and I believe that until you try it, you won't know. Number 4, competition for energy. So violence comes from the urge to control and dominate one another. In conversation, one of two things happen. One can come away feeling strong or weak. No matter the situation or subject matter, we unconsciously say whatever necessary to prevail over the other, all right? Thereby controlling and remaining on top of the encounter for a psychological boost. We manipulate each other. We tend to manipulate each other. For example, a child constantly being scolded and shouted at by her parents, who then feel more in control in doing so, act as vampires of the child's energy. This is the cause of drama and conflict in the world. How do we respond to this? It's not far from the truth. Most people in the world want to manipulate others, want to feel on top of others, want to put other people down. How do we avoid that? Just want you to take 10 seconds to think. How do we avoid that? Give me a 10 seconds. How do we avoid that? Number one, silence. We always have an answer for everything. At least I do. And I attempt to try and be silent. And it's not easy to stop having an answer for everything because we're used to having an answer for everything. That's how we've been trained. But it's untrainable. You can always learn a better way. Silence is the best way. Listening. Listening involves silence. Listen to the other people's concerns. Ask them. We've gone over other books that teach us how to sell, how to listen, how to be able to be silent, because there's a moment for everything. And the best thing is not to be able to correct others unless they're asking to be corrected, unless they're asking to be manipulated, meaning, can you give me a job? I need a job. I'll do anything. I mean, in a nonsensical way, they're asking for a desperate measure to a job. But did you know that very few people go out there and look for these higher paying jobs that do exist? These higher paying jobs, competition, we're all in competition, but the majority of us are in competition for the lowest paying jobs. So just remember that maybe you just need to focus your energy on saying, I'm not going to go for that lower paying job. I'm going to go for the higher paying job. And if you don't get it the first time, then guess what? Eventually you're going to get it. So you're in competition to either make 15, 20 bucks an hour or making 100 an hour, 200 an hour, 300 an hour. I don't know. Sky's the limit. All right. So if you're focused on just making an hourly wage, then that's your focus. That's not my focus. I'm beyond that. I used to be there. I think of it in another term. Most people see it as 40-hour work week. I see it as 24-hour days. What am I worth on a 24-hour day? Am I worth 100 per hour? Am I worth $10 per hour? So this is your competition to yourself. You should be in competition with yourself. Very, very important lesson that is being taught in the Celestine prophecy. You're in competition for energy, and that energy can be put to use in a proper method. Right? Number 5, and the last one that we're covering today, attaining energy from the source. Conscious awakening, mystical consciousness is now attainable by a growing number of individuals, and this is key to the ending of human conflict in the world. By receiving energy not from others as an inside for, but from the unlimited supply of universal energy, firstly, plant food, but only by appreciating what we are eating, right? I'm not asking you to become a vegan. I'm not asking you to become a vegetarian, but you need balance in order to attain energy. So you're going to have to eat some greens and some fruits, right? Remember what I say? Fruit provides what? Fruit provides food, nourishment, and greens provide healing, right? I believe that's what I meant to say. Fruits provide nourishment. Wait, greens provide nourishment. Fruits provide healing. I believe that's very important either way, however you want to look at it, because they're both very important. In this way, the energy from food can actually enter the body. After achieving this, we can then increase our sensitivity to others. When we look at trees, we can appreciate their beauty and imagine a flow of energy from them going into us and flowing back again. being in a state of love, this flow of energy entering us and exiting us. In one of my meditations that I had you all go through, we talk about an energy, a source of energy, a white light, a blue light that enters us and that heals, that strengthens us, that provides us love, courage, strength, whatever we need if we ask of it, if we see it. Love is not a concept reserved for just a few people in our lives. It is a state of being which exists when one is connected to the universal energy, God, the universe. When we visualize that each breath pulls energy into us, breathe in energy, breathe in the new, exhale the past, the old, whatever it is you don't want, into us like a balloon. We become more energized and lighter. That's why we need to meditate. I need to meditate more. Whoops. Thought I had a pause in here, but I guess I don't. So these are the five energies we're covering, to the five insights we're covering today. These insights are very, very powerful. So I want to thank you for giving me these few minutes to cover this, but I'd like to hear some of your opinions now, if you don't mind. You give me a second here so I can stop this recording and then we'll talk. All right? Give me a second here. So everyone, have a great evening with the mastermind group. And until next week, this is your mastermind group. Have a great evening.